Thomas asked, a good old-fashioned would you rather. Would you rather expand the playoff to 64 teams in honor of the late Mike Leach there? Would we ever expand to 64? Or would I rather have the number one AP team declared champion? You guys know how sadistic I am. So you know the direction I'm going on this. I'd rather have that format than what we have now. I'd rather have the AP format than what we have now. I'm willing to grant you that is a radical opinion. I'm willing to grant you that. If you're willing to grant me at least the understanding of why I feel that way. Now, I've explained it. Even in this very podcast, I've explained it. I just don't care as much about the postseason in college football. I wouldn't say it about any other sport. But in this sport, you give me those Saturdays in the fall and make sure that everything about the structure is built to maximize the importance of that Saturday, and I'm fine. And I know that you are yelling at me right now, and you're saying, how could you let sports writers determine a champion? How could you let paper determine a champion? How could you risk a flawed champion and a flawed outcome? I'm not arguing against that risk. I've never argued against it. And you guys clearly know, if you've ever heard me talk about how the Heisman process is a joke, you know my opinion of a lot of those sports writers. So it's not that I entrust these people to make the right decision at all. I don't trust them to do that. I don't have the misguided notion that we wouldn't run the risk of having a farce of a national champion. I'm simply telling you, which most of you disagree with, I don't care as much about that. That's it. That's the long and short of it. And some of you can't grasp that opinion because you've never even considered what college football is without. Because you've lived in the playoff era and the championship era, and you've just never even considered what it could be without that. I'm not saying let's play it without it. I'm saying I play it with that as an afterthought and the main event being the regular season. And then, of course, there's the other crowd that says, but every other sport does it the other way. And I never argue with them because every other sport does do it the other way. And those sports are fine. It's just that I love this one being a different way. To each his and her own. And I'm clearly in the minority. That's why it's changing. So you don't have to worry about arguing with me on it. But as for the 64-team field, that's just gross. I mean, we don't even have to guess how that would go. We've got it right now. So imagine college basketball the way it is, and imagine college football up until about 1998. That's the way it was. We found out what it was like when the AP decided a champion, and we found out what it means to have a 64-team playoff. And we're in the middle of March right now. So this is going to be the time of year. I'm going to go ahead and get you ready for it. Prepare yourselves ahead of time. You're going to have a bunch of folks who are desperate for clicks and who are desperate to be a content creator say, oh, look at this buzzer beater. This 12 just beat this 5. How could you argue against this in college football? How could you argue that an expanded college football playoff won't be great? And then those of us who think like me will be just sitting there going, twiddle the thumbs. Are you done? Are you guys done? Okay, you're done. We've never said it won't be great. That's the answer. I've never said the college football playoff won't be exciting. Never said it. Just like March, just like April, NCAA tournament. It's never not been exciting. It's just that that's not the end of the conversation. That's not where the sport begins. If I grant you that, you have to answer me this. How much college basketball were you watching in November this year? How much college basketball did you make it a point to watch in January? If you're a diehard basketball fan, you're kind of exempt from this because you're not the norm. The answer for most of you is you didn't. And that's my point. A 64-team postseason field dictates that you and I don't have to watch the regular season unless we just want to. But there's no emphasis, there's no need for us to watch the regular season. In college football, there is a need. You don't understand the sport. You will not be provided accurate context of the sport if you do not make it an appointment to watch the regular season. You can do it in college basketball. So if you had a 64-team field in football, sure, you'd get exciting moments. At what cost? The cost would be September, October, November, and early December. And that's the lifeblood of the sport to me. That's the long and short of it. You cannot take away the tree because you want more ornaments. You can't do that. You have to have the tree. There are some things you have to have. They are non-starters. They are non-negotiables. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Make sure you like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Not just for me, that's how we keep this entire thing free.